Putting God first means reevaluating the way we approach life and its many demands. In the fast-paced world we live in, it is easy to become entangled in the pursuit of success, wealth, and personal ambition. These goals, while important, often leave little room for reflection on what truly matters. By prioritizing God, we step back and recognize that there is a greater purpose to our existence, one that transcends material accomplishments and temporary gains. This shift in priority helps us focus on what is eternal rather than fleeting. It challenges us to ask deeper questions about our actions and their alignment with divine principles. What drives our decisions? Are we seeking fulfillment in things that cannot ultimately satisfy? By placing God at the center of our lives, we begin to anchor ourselves in values that guide us toward a meaningful and balanced life. Life's priorities are no longer defined solely by external markers of success. Instead, they are shaped by an awareness of the spiritual dimension of our existence. This perspective brings clarity to our choices, helping us to distinguish between what is urgent and what is truly important. It fosters a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken by the ups and downs of life. When God is placed first, every aspect of our lives' work, relationships, and personal goals falls into its proper place, guided by a higher standard and an enduring sense of direction. When we put God first, it fundamentally changes how we perceive and approach life. Instead of viewing challenges as insurmountable obstacles or random misfortunes, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth, testing, and refinement. This perspective shift helps us recognize that every difficulty has the potential to teach us patience, resilience, and faith. Similarly, blessings are no longer just personal achievements or strokes of good luck. They are seen as gifts with a purpose, a call to share, uplift, and contribute to the well-being of others. This transformation in perspective allows us to live with greater intentionality. Our focus moves away from short-term gains and momentary satisfaction toward lasting significance. We become more mindful of how our actions and choices align with a higher purpose. This mindset enables us to let go of unnecessary stress and anxiety, trusting that everything has a divine order and purpose. By putting God first, we develop a sense of gratitude for all aspects of life, even the challenges. We see life as a meaningful journey where every step, whether joyful or difficult, brings us closer to understanding ourselves and our relationship with God. This perspective not only brings clarity to our daily lives, but also fosters a deep sense of hope and confidence, knowing that we are never alone on our path. When God takes precedence in our lives, the way we approach decisions undergoes a profound transformation. Instead of being driven solely by personal ambitions or societal pressures, our choices are guided by principles rooted in love, compassion, and justice. This means that decisions are no longer made in isolation or based purely on self-interest. Instead, they are influenced by a desire to reflect God's character and values in our actions. This shift in decision-making encourages us to think beyond immediate benefits or consequences. We begin to evaluate how our choices affect others, ensuring that they promote kindness, fairness, and integrity. Whether it is in professional endeavors, personal relationships, or day-to-day interactions, putting God first reminds us to prioritize what is right over what is easy or convenient. It also means seeking divine wisdom before acting. This often involves prayer, reflection, and consulting spiritual principles, which provide clarity when faced with difficult choices. By doing so, we learn to discern what aligns with God's will and what does not, enabling us to make decisions that are not only beneficial to ourselves, but also serve a greater good. Placing God at the center of our decision-making process empowers us to stand firm in our values, even when faced with challenges or opposition. It strengthens our resolve to pursue what is just and honorable, fostering a life characterized by integrity and moral courage. This approach to decision-making not only enriches our own lives, but also has a ripple effect, inspiring those around us to act with similar purpose and conviction. Putting God first requires a deep sense of faith and trust in His greater plan, even when we cannot fully understand it. It is an act of surrender, acknowledging that while our efforts are important, ultimate control lies in the hands of God. This perspective challenges the human tendency to seek control over every aspect of life, encouraging us to embrace the uncertainty of the future with confidence in divine wisdom. Trusting in God means believing that He has our best interests at heart, even when circumstances seem difficult or unclear. It allows us to let go of fear and anxiety, knowing that everything unfolds according to a purpose beyond our comprehension. This trust is not passive, it involves active faith, where we continue to do our part while leaving the outcome in God's hands. This level of surrender requires humility, as it involves admitting that our knowledge and understanding are limited. By relying on God's guidance, we are freed from the pressure of trying to control outcomes or make sense of every situation. Instead, we are invited to walk in faith, trusting that God's plan will lead us to where we are meant to be. Through this trust, we develop patience and resilience, knowing that delays, challenges, or unexpected turns in life are part of a greater design. It transforms how we view setbacks, turning them into opportunities to strengthen our relationship with God and deepen our reliance on Him. This unwavering trust not only brings peace, but also provides the courage to move forward, even in the face of uncertainty, with the assurance that God is always with us, guiding our path. Beginning each day with a deliberate focus on God creates a strong foundation for everything that follows. This practice could involve prayer, meditation, reading scripture, or simply taking a moment of quiet reflection to acknowledge God's presence and seek His guidance. By doing so, we center our thoughts and intentions, allowing a sense of peace and clarity to permeate our minds and hearts before the demands of the day take over. Starting the day in this way shifts our mindset from being reactive to proactive. Instead of being overwhelmed by tasks, challenges, or distractions, we approach each situation with a calm and grounded spirit. It reminds us that we are not walking through the day alone. God is with us, and His wisdom and strength are available to us at every moment. This daily connection also serves as a reminder of our priorities. It helps us align our actions with values such as kindness, patience, and gratitude, making it easier to navigate difficult situations with grace. When we begin the day by putting God first, we are more likely to respond to others with compassion and understanding, reflecting the love and character of God in our interactions. Moreover, this practice has a cumulative effect over time. Each day that starts with a focus on God builds spiritual resilience, enabling us to handle life's uncertainties with greater faith and confidence. It becomes a habit that not only sustains us through challenging times, but also deepens our relationship with God, strengthening our sense of purpose and direction in life. When God is placed first in our lives, it profoundly transforms how we relate to others. This prioritization shifts our focus away from self-centered motives and enables us to approach relationships with a spirit of love, humility, and service. By putting God at the center, we learn to see others not as competitors or obstacles, but as individuals deserving of respect, compassion, and care. One of the most significant ways this manifests is through selfless love. Prioritizing God teaches us to love others as He loves us unconditionally and without expectation of something in return. This kind of love strengthens bonds, builds trust, and creates a foundation for meaningful and enduring relationships. It encourages us to be patient and understanding, even when others may act in ways that are challenging or difficult to accept. Forgiveness also becomes a central part of our interactions. When we put God first, we are reminded of the forgiveness He extends to us and are inspired to extend the same to others. This does not mean ignoring wrongs or dismissing hurt, but it allows us to let go of resentment and anger, fostering reconciliation and healing. Forgiving others becomes an act of obedience to God and a path to inner peace. Integrity and honesty in relationships are also strengthened. By seeking to align our actions with God's principles, we strive to be truthful, fair, and dependable in all our interactions. This commitment to doing what is right builds trust and respect in our relationships, creating an environment of mutual support and understanding. Finally, putting God first enables us to serve others with genuine humility. It reminds us that relationships are not just about what we can gain, but about how we can give and contribute to the well-being of those around us. This perspective encourages us to prioritize the needs of others, offering help, encouragement, and kindness wherever possible. Through this approach, our relationships are transformed into opportunities to reflect God's love and grace, enriching both our lives and the lives of those we touch. Placing God first in our lives naturally leads to a heart that is open to serving others. This shift in focus encourages us to look beyond our own needs and desires, recognizing that we are called to contribute to the well-being of those around us. By prioritizing God, we align ourselves with His will, which often involves helping, uplifting, and supporting those in need. This service is not merely a duty, but a reflection of God's love, and it brings purpose and fulfillment to our lives. When we put God first, our actions are shaped by a sense of responsibility to others, especially those who may be less fortunate, struggling, or marginalized. We become more attuned to their needs, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, and are moved to act with compassion and empathy. It shifts our focus from self-preservation to self-giving, creating a spirit of generosity that extends beyond our immediate circle to our communities and even the world at large. Serving others is not always easy, and it often requires sacrifice, whether it's time, energy, or resources. However, when our hearts are set on God and His purpose, the act of service becomes a joy rather than a burden. The more we serve, the more we experience the profound impact it has on both others and ourselves. We grow in humility, learning that true fulfillment comes not from receiving but from giving, not from being served but from serving. Moreover, putting God first in service fosters a sense of unity and connection. As we serve others, we build relationships and strengthen bonds within our communities. Through acts of kindness, we create a ripple effect, inspiring others to do the same. This collective act of service becomes a testament to the power of putting God at the center of our lives, creating an environment where compassion and love flourish. In the end, service becomes a form of worship, a way of honoring God by reflecting His character in the world. It is a tangible expression of our faith and devotion, demonstrating that our love for God is not just a matter of words, but of actions that make a real difference in the lives of others. When we place God at the center of our lives, we gain access to a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances. This peace is not the absence of challenges or difficulties, but a deep, unshakable sense of calm that transcends the temporary struggles we face. The storms of life, whether personal crises, financial worries, or relational tensions, become less overwhelming when we trust in God's presence and sovereignty. By putting God first, we are reminded that our ultimate security does not lie in the things of this world, but in the eternal stability of His love and faithfulness. This knowledge helps us remain composed and centered, even in the midst of adversity. We come to understand that, while we may not always have control over our circumstances, we do have control over how we respond to them. When we trust God, we learn to release the anxiety, and fear that can easily take hold when facing uncertainty. This inner peace also helps us develop resilience. Life's difficulties no longer feel like setbacks or insurmountable challenges, but opportunities for growth. We learn to see each trial as a chance to deepen our faith, draw closer to God, and build spiritual strength. Instead of being crushed by hardship, we become more determined, knowing that God will sustain us through every trial. Moreover, this peace is contagious. As we experience God's calm in our own hearts, it affects the way we interact with others. Our sense of tranquility becomes a source of reassurance to those around us. In times of stress or conflict, we are able to offer support, encouragement, and a steady presence to others, helping them to navigate their own challenges with a sense of peace. Ultimately, by putting God first, we gain a peace that surpasses understanding, a peace that remains steadfast even when life is unpredictable. It is a peace rooted in the knowledge that God is always with us, guiding us through every season of life with love, grace, and strength. When we put God first, our relationship with material possessions and worldly pursuits undergoes a significant transformation. We begin to recognize that true joy does not come from accumulating wealth or acquiring status, but from living a life rooted in purpose and gratitude. The simple pleasures of life, spending time with loved ones, enjoying nature, or experiencing moments of quiet reflection, become far more fulfilling than fleeting material gains. This shift in perspective helps us focus on what truly matters. Instead of constantly chasing after the next achievement or possession, we learn to appreciate the blessings already present in our lives. This deep sense of contentment and gratitude frees us from the cycle of comparison and desire, allowing us to find joy in the everyday moments that others may overlook. We begin to understand that happiness is not found in the abundance of things, but in the richness of our experiences and relationships. Putting God first also redefines our understanding of success. We no longer measure success by the accumulation of wealth, power, or recognition, but by the alignment of our lives with divine values, love, kindness, humility, and integrity. Our worth is no longer determined by external accomplishments, but by our relationship with God and how we live according to His will. This perspective helps us let go of unnecessary pressure to perform or achieve in the eyes of others, giving us the freedom to live authentically and with peace. As a result, we find ourselves less consumed by the pursuit of material things. We are more generous, willing to share our resources with others, and less attached to our possessions. This generosity enriches our lives, creating deeper connections with others and fostering a sense of community and mutual support. We come to understand that material possessions are temporary and that true wealth is found in the richness of a life lived with purpose and faith. In essence, when we put God first, we discover a joy that is not dependent on external circumstances or material wealth. It is a joy that comes from living in alignment with a higher purpose and finding peace in the simplicity of life's most meaningful moments. When we place God first in our lives, the legacy we leave behind becomes shaped by the values and principles we choose to embody. This legacy is not measured by wealth, fame, or achievements, but by the impact we have on the lives of others and the example we set in our relationships and actions. A life centered on God creates a lasting influence that transcends generations, leaving behind a legacy of faith, integrity, and love that continues to inspire long after we are gone. By living with God at the forefront, we make decisions that reflect His teachings and character. These decisions, big or small, accumulate over time and become a testament to our commitment to living according to His will. Whether it's in our relationships, our work, or our service to others, each action rooted in God's love creates a ripple effect that can shape the lives of those around us. Our integrity, compassion, and dedication to doing what is right leave a mark on the people we interact with, encouraging them to live with purpose and faith as well. This legacy is also reflected in the way we raise and mentor others. By prioritizing God, we instill in the next generation the values of kindness, humility, and faith. We guide them not just through words, but through our example, showing them how to live a life centered on God. The influence we have on those we teach and support can be far-reaching, impacting their choices, their relationships, and their own approach to life. Furthermore, the legacy of a God-centered life often extends beyond our immediate family or circle. Acts of kindness, generosity, and service to others create a broader impact, building communities grounded in love and mutual respect. As we put God first, we contribute to a larger purpose, helping to create a world where His values are reflected in society, where justice, compassion, and integrity prevail. In the end, the legacy we leave is not about what we accumulate or how much we are remembered for our personal achievements, but about the lasting impact of the values we live by. By putting God first, we ensure that our legacy is one of faith, service, and love, inspiring others to do the same and continuing to influence the world long after we are gone. In conclusion, putting God first in our lives transforms not only our perspective, but the very essence of how we live and relate to others. It changes the way we prioritize our time, our decisions, and our actions, guiding us toward a higher purpose that transcends material pursuits and worldly concerns. As we place God at the center, we gain a renewed sense of purpose, grounded in faith, love, and service. By prioritizing God, we develop a deep sense of peace and resilience, even in the face of adversity. We find joy in the simple blessings of life and cultivate meaningful relationships characterized by love, forgiveness, and integrity. Our daily connection with God strengthens our resolve, empowers us to serve others selflessly, and guides our decisions with wisdom and compassion. Ultimately, putting God first leads to a lasting legacy of faith, kindness, and purpose. Our actions and relationships reflect divine principles, leaving an enduring impact on those we encounter and future generations. The true fulfillment and joy we seek are not found in temporary accomplishments or possessions, but in a life lived in alignment with God's will, marked by love, service, and a commitment to what truly matters. Through this, we create a meaningful and lasting influence that continues to shape the world long after we are gone.